everybody, welcome to Thomas de Rio Hondo for coverage of Moto2 in the 2023 season as well. Rain has been falling all day here as well, meaning we have a shortened Moto2 race, down from 21 laps to 14 laps. Let's sync up then at the end of the formation lap before the lights went out.
Welcome to Thomas de Rio Hondo. If you are just joining us, we are ready to go with a 14-lap Moto2 race. Shortened because they haven't had any dry practice throughout the weekend, and so the regulations stipulate a 2/3 distance race with Alonso Lopez heading up the front row, Jake Dixon heading up row 2 alongside the early championship leader Pedro Acosta. Further back, Tony Arbolino, as mentioned, down in the paddock, winner of the last wet race back in Thailand at the end of last year. Darren Binder, I reckon, might have a say in this one. He's strong in these conditions, and maybe row 5, Philip Salich and Sam Lowes, also strong in wet weather. It's not actually absolutely teeming down, but the track is completely wet. There's a few spots in the air, but nothing that would make it wetter, so it may well dry up as this race goes on. That gap on the 7th row of the grid is for Ayogura, who's withdrawn from the race with that wrist injury. And at the back of the field, behind Rory Skinner, is Sergio Garcia, winner of a wet race in Moto3 actually, in Le Mans, but has a long lap penalty to serve in this one for a collision with Marcos Ramirez during qualifying yesterday.
And we're underway with the formation lap here for Moto2, and the race is moments away. We've had to sort of clamour together with everything as well, and our data screens aren't working completely at the end of this race, unfortunately. Or at the start, rather. That's why you're seeing a few little differences on the screen. Directly below, hopefully we'll cover that up with a photograph as well in the edit, so you won't actually see any difference, but we do up here in the commentary box, so I apologise for that. But it's a very wet track, which means that the Moto2 race has been reduced from 21 laps all the way to 14 laps as well. That's the order coming into it. 21-degree track temperature as well, 3-mile-per-hour wind. It's quite different to what we expect as well. Track temperature 21, cloud 18, 57% humidity as well. There's an awful lot still in the air, and there's still an awful lot to do here for MotoGP's Moto2 class to come out and play. And we're all looking forward to seeing it, all looking forward to having the excitement build and go for the race. Let's go over to BT.
It's going to take the riders a few laps to build into it in Moto2, figure out how much they can push it, but we've seen that in Moto3, really they could get quite aggressive.
You were a handy wet weather rider in your day, Michael, and in British Superbike races in wet conditions. What's the key here? What's it going to be to take victory in Moto2?
A lot of it is enjoying being out there. So we talk about why are the British riders so good in the wet. It's because we practice in it a lot. We come through and we race in the wet more than their Spanish and Italian counterparts. So I think it is the getting out there, feeling comfortable on the bike, having an understanding of what you need from the suspension setup. Some people like to really soften it, others don't. But yeah, it is getting feeling and just keeping your head, doing everything gently.
And Dunlops in the wet, no problems there, especially on a shortened race like this.
Yeah, good. Dunlops work well, give a lot of feeling in the wet, and they hold up, to a lot of abuse through the rear tyre.
As you'd expect. It rains every now and then in Birmingham, doesn't it? Right, here we go then. The grid forming up behind Alonso Lopez on pole position.
Yep, they are lining up, all set to go. Fingers crossed then, this is going to be a smooth Moto2 race. No accidents, no red flags. Taken away at the front. 14 laps instead of 21. It's eyes to the lights. And throttle back, and away we go down towards turn number 1. It's a great start from Owen Canat, who's going to absolutely dominate in towards the first corner. Jake Dixon's going to try and go around the outside. Up into the position, though, comes Songkat Chantra, and they're all just navigating their way through. Lap 1 of 14. It's still very important not to make any mistakes. Back on the inside they come. Few riders being juggly with their positions. They don't want to have an accident. They know how tricky it is, and they don't want to stop the race and have to go again. They're all on the wet tyres, so this is not going to be a flag to flag or anything like that, or stopping the race for dry to wet tyres. Canat leads, but he's side by side with Jake Dixon on the run down towards turn number 4. Canet on the outside, Dixon now swaps around. Dixon takes the lead. Britain's Jake Dixon leads the Moto2 race here in Argentina. And now Somkat Chantra getting swapped by Gonzalez as well, coming through. Where did he come from? Manuel Gonzalez right up the order then with a superb move on this opening lap. Dixon, Canet, Gonzalez, Lopez, Chantra, Arborino, Salak, Vietti, Binder, Arenas, the top 10. Oh, and going off wide, that's Somkat Chantra. Chantra going a bit too deep as well and losing a couple of positions across the line there. We thought it might be a possibility, and it was and has been a possibility, sadly as well, to make those manoeuvres up at the worst possible start on the circuit. Meantime, trying to make the moves into the braking zone. Roberts up to 9th position. Somkat Chantra up into 10th now. Vietti making moves and swinging some roundabouts coming into the braking zone as well. All eyes then definitely on the front of the field as they try and swing back through here on lap number 1 of 14. Now on to lap 2 as well. Lopez doesn't lead. Race has started, so the timing screen's way behind at the moment with what we're experiencing. So hopefully it'll catch up. There we go with Dixon leading from Canet. Lopez into 3rd position though, so the timing screen's having... Oh, Canet's jumped the start. Canet has jumped the start and has been given a long lap penalty. The timing screen's now finally kicked into gear. We thought it might after the opening lap. So Dixon leads, Lopez to 2nd. He's going to make the move, but Aaron Canet has been given a jump start penalty. Well, we knew that was coming, sadly, and now it's been made 110% official. Let's hand over to BT Sports.
First ride on a Moto2 bike this weekend. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it? You know, Japanese riders over the years always have had wet weather pedigree, haven't they? Oh, a jump start for Aaron Canet has just come up on our timing screens. Double long lap penalty for Canet. Wow, if Canet thought about breaking his victory duck, that's going to be a real disaster for him. That will lose him, well, 5 or 6 seconds in this race. Disaster for Canet with that launch. We talked about the fact that he got a good start and Alonso Lopez didn't. Must have been Canet just going that little bit early.
Yeah, I was watching Jake Dixon at the time, so I didn't see if he actually just creeped or he did drop the clutch early. But yeah, it's a bit of a rookie error to be jumping the start, and maybe just nervous today in the wet conditions, not as relaxed as he should have been.
Easily done, isn't it, as you say, in these conditions. Pedro Acosta's dropped right back behind Sergio Garcia. He's just got the information on his pit board, on his dashboard, should I say, that he can come in now and take his long lap loop. Alonso Lopez is attacking Jake Dixon here. Dixon is going to have to allow Lopez to come through. Will Lopez run a bit wide? Yes, he will. You almost don't want Lopez riding like this around you, do you? No. When you're trying to just be calm at this point of the race. Lopez is that kind of character, isn't he?
He is. He can push right from the off, and you could see as he changed direction from 9, 10, 11, it did look like his bike was working well for him. So yeah, unfortunately not what Jake wants to see as he makes his way to the head of the field, that he's actually got good grip and it looks like his bike's working.
Yeah.
So, already then, after the opening lap of this race, they've changed positions once again in the Moto2 race here. So, Lopez, 153.606 across the line. Sean Dillon Kelly has retired from this race, so he's decided no more as our graphics came back at the end of the opening lap. So I guess we'll leave them for MotoGP later and see if they glitch back in. They've been having a right system mirror problem as well, so we'll just leave it for MotoGP coming up later. Lopez, Canet coming in as well, all still having the battle. 12 to go. Who was that flying back on? That's the 21 coming back through as well. So that's Alonso Lopez who's leading the race. Canet 2nd. Dixon's dropped down to 3rd position then. So Dixon's lost the lead of the race here in Moto2 as we start the 3rd lap and taking the long lap penalty. It's a double long lap, remember, penalty for Aaron Canet, the first one he's taken, and that is located down at turn 6 and 7. Unbelievable start happening here, and he's side by side as well with Gonzalez and makes the move for the position changes as well as the TV pictures try to catch up. All is well at the start, and this is it for Aaron Canet. I was wondering how he got such a lightning getaway, yet rolling way before the lights went out, unfortunately. It's a slam dunk as to what's happened there, unfortunately.
Exactly. He just judged that completely wrong. It's not like the Cal Crutchlow one from, excuse me, was that 4 years ago here?
Yep, it was here in Argentina, wasn't it? As we see Tony Arbolino go past Jake Dixon up into second place. So it's Lopez now with an 8/10 gap over Tony Arbolino. Dixon just needs to stay in there at the moment. Darren Binder making excellent progress up to fourth place now, past Aaron Canet. Well, obviously Canet's dropped back. Canet will go again. Canet isn't out of this one, is he, Michael? Even with the double long laps, well, you know, if you can get a feel for the wet weather, often riders can find half a second on a lap.
Yeah, exactly. And chasing is a little bit easier. You can let the rider in front work as a marker for you in the braking zones. You can see where they've got grip and just push the envelope a little bit further. I think that's why Jake got engulfed a little bit, because everyone else was using him as the marker, and then all of a sudden the pace up at the front.
Yeah, he now has to return the favour and allow Arbolino to drag him back to Lopez, and I'm sure he'll be doing everything that he can to stick with Arbolino, because we know Arbolino was brilliant in Thailand. I mean, he won the race in the end, but you have to say Philip Salach was the class act on the day. It felt like, obviously Arbolino stayed in it, and he just timed it right for when the red flag got thrown out there.
Salach has made his way past Gonzalez on that lap, so Canet has managed to box off both of his penalty long lap loops, so yeah, right back onto the rear wheel of Manuel Gonzalez as well, so he's executed those quite well, straight past Salach on the brakes.
Yep, so Canet rejoins. He's taken his medicine and he rejoins in fifth place. How far behind actually is he? You know, the long lap obviously is worth less of a penalty in the wet conditions, if that makes sense. As in, you know, you still got to go around, but with them being so much slower on a wet weather lap, is that a fair comment?
It does seem to be the case. It looks like he's getting away with these quite well. So it's, yeah, I guess the guys in front aren't moving as fast as you would in the dry. So
he lost 1.8 on the previous lap on his...
Oh, Garcia! Garcia has been given a long lap penalty. Oh, well, this is just getting insane now as well out here in Moto2. As we take a look at it, I don't actually see why. I think that's an old message that's come through as well. I'm trying to look quickly through the messages board here. Yeah, Sergio Garcia in 12th position has been given a long lap penalty. 18 degrees now is the air temperature, so it's starting to come back into it. It's all eyes literally around what is happening here. It is absolutely insane. Insanity is the situation at the moment as they rise on down the back straightaway. 10 to go here in the Moto2 race lap, 5 of 14. And going wide is Lopez, Arbolino and Dixon coming into play for the party rolls as well. Insanity, implausible, it's just what we like to see. And this is just fabulous. Absolutely fantastic. And that is Aaron Canet nearly making a mistake on the Pons We Go LSO 40 bike as well. Just having a little bit of a dip as Salak coming in behind Aaron Canet now as well to make the move. Well, this is Brill race. I'm surprised actually we haven't seen any safety car, red flags come out as well for any conditions. But they've all been remarkably well behaved here. I was expecting a different attitude, to be fair, and I'm not joking with you. I was expecting absolute carnage in this race, but Lopez leads by half a second. He's pulled out now as well, so he's keeping it all out there together, nice and smooth. Exactly what he needed to do in order to just sort of, I don't want to say be competitive, but he's keeping competitive. That's the important thing. He's keeping it calm as well. As the racing continues, let's hand over to BT.
Dry lap time from Alonso Lopez yesterday.
So that tells us there's still margin in this track when we look at Moto3 being 7 seconds a lap off. So yeah, obviously they didn't have any previous wet weather running, and it is a venture into the unknown so far in this race. They're up on the pace, despite, I don't see where they're going to find 3 more seconds, to be honest, whenever you're watching out there. They look like they're pretty close to the limit.
How they have to float over that roller through turn 3 every single time. You see the bikes bouncing through, don't they, as they're trying to get on the gas on the straight. You've got to be really careful in these conditions.
Yeah, it is tricky. You're carrying a little bit of lean angle. You want to get on the throttle as early as possible, carry the speed all the way down the back straight, and you are negotiating a little bit of a whoop section. Those rollers do upset the bike.
That's right. like a motocross or an enduro kind of event. Looks like Arbolino and Dixon are chipping away at Alonso Lopez's lead. The gap to Canet behind. Oh, and a mistake there from Lopez.
Lopez error, yeah.
Arbolino closed right in on him, and actually Lopez finished off the corner well, but Arbolino straight back at him. This is where Dixon has to be careful, just wary, because if Arbolino tries to check out at the front, you know he's capable of doing that. Look at them jockey.
Wowzers! Unbelievable! They are changing several times a lap, pushing as hard as they possibly can. And now this is the battle we wanted to see, the real Shazam moment coming through. And the energy just changing ever so slightly here to what we were expecting it to be. 8 to go. Across the line. And now everything changing once again. Lopez, Arbolino, Dixon changing over into third position. And we've got a yellow. Oh, David Sanchez has retired from the session. As the racing continues. Lopez, Arbolino, Dixon, 1, 2, 3. And Rory Skinner's retired. Oh, well, this is just getting worse. We're losing so many now. Down to 25 runners in this race. The 33 of Rory Skinner has retired. We were expecting greatness. It hasn't come, sadly. And this race now turning into a battle at the front between Lopez, Arbolino and Dixon. Dixon could win. 7 of 14, 8 to go. Plenty of time to get this one completed. I wonder if the MotoGP might also be changing due to the conditions, if they've moved up their start time in any way, shape or form. At the moment, I haven't seen anything or heard anything of the change. We're just getting through now as well. BT.
It would be half race distance.
I don't think Canet's quite got the pace to get back across to the lead three. It looked that way early on when he done his penalty. He had definitely a few tenths on everybody, but it just seems like the front three have upped their game.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? They've been able to push on a little bit more than Canet, which surprised us because it certainly looked like Canet had the bit between his teeth. Lopez down into turn 13. He's been able to react, hasn't he? Every time Alonso Lopez. He got shown a wheel a couple of times by Arbolino with a mistake. Got shown a wheel by Jake Dixon when he was battling at the front. And a new best lap now for Alonso Lopez.
Yeah, he's a quality act when he leads the race. So whenever he joined the Moto2 class last season, that was his thing, that was his MO. He wanted to get to the front. He's wide again there at turn 1, but he brings it back to quite a late apex and still doesn't cost him any time. He definitely he can control a race. He's very comfortable out front without someone to chase.
There is Canet back in fourth spot, gap across the line, 3.2 seconds between himself and Dixon in third. Still enough time to claw that back though in a wet race. Margins are that much bigger. Darren Bittner's having a fantastic second ride in Moto2 here, up in fifth spot and showing all the class that he showed last year in MotoGP.
Yeah, he's obviously a rookie at Moto2 and figuring things out on this Husqvarna machine.
Can't mean that many celebrations for his brother's sprint race victory yesterday.
So, with 7 to go then here at the moment, it's all eyes up front with Lopez, Arbolino and Dixon starting to close it in as well and starting to have the runners. Tom Dillon, I am with you on that one. Hates all-nighters. I too hate all-nighters. It's getting a bit ridiculous. But great to know that he's with us as well, coming in for the IndyCar coverage. He'll be leading it when I have to step away from the commentary box as well. So at least this plan is always going to normality. That's why Moto2 being live recording of the race wasn't actually supposed to happen. I was supposed to record this tomorrow on Monday. But it's coming through as the racing continues with 7 to go. We're halfway in the race. It's taken us 18 minutes, so another 18 to come. Actually a bit less than that, to be fair, so might be okay. Oh, and Lopez going a bit too deep there as well, as we see as well further back. Watching Pedro Acosta with Joe Roberts in the battle now. Roberts going wide, Acosta right with him as well. And now we come back to the leaders. Lopez leads, Arbolino second, Dixon in third. as they cut back through. Canet fourth, Binder fifth, Salak, Gonzalez, Chantra, Garcia, Arenas has the top 10. It's still wet, so I think the MotoGP boys will be out there on wet compound tyres as well when they get going. So it's going to be frantic, this one. Absolutely frantic. We can't anticipate what is going to happen next in this series. It is changing every couple of seconds as 6 to go. Lap 9 of 14. And now we're starting to get the slowness coming in.
I don't think the track's going to evolve too much more, so at the minute there's no worry of tyres starting to shred up, so it will be over these last 5.5 laps. Pretty much having a gauge of each other, but I think it's, yes, my favourite in this group at the moment is probably Alonso.
Just looking at that, there are bits of the track where you can see the spray off a lot of the corners, but there are in certain areas in braking zones where you can see a bit of a dry patch. I'm just thinking of MotoGP later.
Yeah.
We could be on for a flag to flag here, couldn't we? Not another one here in Argentina.
And we saw how fast the Ducati riders especially were able to activate the slick tyres on a drying track yesterday, so yeah, it could well be the day where you start with wets and have to pit. It's not an easy call to make when's the right time to go.
These are the shots of Alonso Lopez braking down into turn 5, hardest braking zone on the circuit, from 170 down to 45 miles an hour, more or less. No problem so far for Alonso Lopez. Lap time on that one, 52, should I say, 0.6. 42 was his qualifying lap. Fastest lap of the race is a 52.1, so their lap times, it's almost like they're just biding their time, saving something for the latter stages here. Dixon needs to stay in it because, look, if Arbolino has a go, we've already seen Lopez will try and react, and who knows what's going to happen. You've just got to stay there, see what you've got in the tank for the last 3 laps, or really I think it's all going to go down to the final lap here.
I think so. It looks like they're not really taking as much risk as they could do, so over the last couple of laps they may well up the ante, try and put a bit of daylight between, well, for Alonso, between Arbolino and Jake. But
again, Alonso,
deep.
He goes deep, doesn't he? It's almost, well, he even doesn't come back to a late apex on that one, but maybe just in the wet he's found that's his way to do it. But it feels deep, doesn't it, on a number of occasions on the Bosco Oscuro.
Yeah, it does. He V's the corner, he gets it back upright, so sometimes it's a safer way to ride. You're picking the bike up a little bit more as you straight line the exit on acceleration.
On board with Tony Arbolino. Up to turn 9. Up and over that little rise, dip in between the two, and then into turn 11. A fantastic corner, this one. We're just going to hear them start to accelerate through turn 11. When we switch back to the helicopter, you can see the clouds in and around the helicopter now, just pulling away ever so slightly here from Dixon, and again that deeper line from Lopez to cut back across through 13 and into the final corner. Across the line they come, 4 laps to go. Lopez, Arbolino, Dixon across the line, just a second covering the front trio.
Tony Arbolino, personal best on that lap around, so he did make some inroads on Alonso Lopez, but you can see where Alonso's strong. He is very good on the brakes. It's going to be a difficult one for Tony to pull off.
Yeah, so maybe you don't necessarily do it in the classic areas like a turn 5 manoeuvre. He might do the odd cutback on you. Maybe you come up with something. I'm thinking through the flip-flop. That's where he looked to have a go, didn't he, on that lap where we saw them exchange positions.
Yeah, he's Tony's not shy of putting it up the inside, though. He will give it a go for sure if he's within reach.
On board with Arbolino, looking at the rear of the Bosco Oscuro bike of Alonso Lopez, and again, look how far into the corner Lopez goes. Again, look at the apex that Arbolino gets, and Lopez just going for a wider line. He's like making a weird U out of it. It's a strange one. It
looked like that was a slight mistake on that occasion, but he is typically, in most of these corners, he's going just a little bit deeper, waiting and then picking it up. Not so much here at 7 through 8, but he is in turn 13, turn 1 and turn 5.
So the action coming in thick and fast then here with 4 laps to go. Lopez, Arbolino, Dixon, Canet coming in there with 4th position, but it's the top 3 battle that we are all watching here. For Moto2, I'm glad it's only been 14 laps. It doesn't need to be any longer, in my opinion. It's long enough, and it is starting to have effects on the overall race strategy. So, has to change that as well, I suppose. Coming in for just a few more. The adrenaline really starting to push through now. Across the line, 3 to go. Here in Argentina. As into the braking zone. Lopez, Albarino, Dixon, Canet, Binder, Garcia, Salak, Chantra, Gonzalez, Albarino's top 10. Then we get Sam Lowe's dropping down to 11th position. Dixon, though, on course for a podium, is mighty strong for him in the championship after a disappointing round in Portugal. Dixon's going to fight back here again in Argentina. The Brits love Argentina. I seem to remember a couple of years beforehand as well, we had a race win here coming in. Into the braking zone then. Albarino trying to get ahead of Lopez in towards turn number 4. Lopez takes the inside tight line at 4, runs a little wide, and Albarino takes the lead. Albarino leads the Argentine Grand Prix. Has he got the pace on the cut back? Yes, he does. Albarino leads brilliantly here in Argentina. A complete swing, a complete have-a-go hero, lucky manoeuvre on the inside line. Brilliant. Truly spectacular stuff as they continue to rumble. Acosta has passed Minimoto as well in 19th position. As the battle for first races on, Dixon can sense a race win. He's holding in the background, thinking about doing a late lunch, thinking about just what he wants for lunch even as well. When can he go? When is the sensible opportunity for him to go, okay, this is my moment, this is my time, I'll take it now. He's holding back at the moment as much as he possibly can. They rumble out of the last corner at turn 12. 2 laps to go here at Termas de Rio Hondo in the Moto2 class. Albarino, Lopez and Dixon still battling. It's turn 1. All perfectly in the line. Acosta's on the back of Sam Lowe's as well. So they're in a little bit of a rumble as they swing back. And nobody else improving on lap times or going for positions at the moment. This battle is all focused up towards the front and the top 3. Albarino still got the accelerator on as well. Lopez v Dixon's closing in. Just listen to that fantastic noise on these bikes. They know what they love, we know what we love, and they are pushing hard and fast to give us the adrenaline-seeking addiction that we need in this class. 3/10 the gap at the moment as they swing back. And Dixon's just sort of hanging around the back. We'll have one more lap of this then. One more lap of follow me lead up. They've got 5 seconds to Aaron Canet, who's 4 seconds ahead of Garcia. Canet had a double long lap penalty, still manages to be in 4th position in this Moto2 race. It's been nothing but a masterclass from him. True domination, true determination as well. They've been stuck on it thick and fast to keep the procedures running, to keep the attack running. Into the last few corners for the last lap to come on and give us the signal. Albarino's half a second ahead now, but it's a lot closer. Into the braking zones. You can see it, we can see it, we all know we can see it. Go! Last lap, the call of the Moto2 race here in Argentina. They turn into the first corner, a long sweeping triple right. In the wet conditions, it's a nightmare. Albarino will lead the championship on 41 points, 8 clear to Aaron Canet on 33. Pedro Acosta will still have 29 after victory last time out in the first race in Portimao. Dixon will jump up to 4th, 15 points back, but he'll be on 26 and in the title fight. But with victory here, Albarino moves ahead in the championship. Can anybody stop him? Does anybody want to stop him? Are they all just going to fly through and accept their fate? Or are they going to grit their teeth and push harder and smarter in the coming laps. The remaining sectors, the upcoming corners. Racing is going to resume as well. 2 weeks' time, and we're in Long Beach for IndyCar at the same time. We'll be racing here at the Circuit of the Americas, is what I meant to say. It's been a long night. Arbolino into the last sector coming up. This is turn 8 and 9. Well, Moto2 still needs a lot of work. It still needs it. There's not a lot of drama, there's not a lot of action. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it lets us down. After the joys of Moto3, Moto2 has been another letdown. The category needs changing, the format needs changing. Pushed up though, an incredible defence from our new championship leader. Tony Arbolino wins in Argentina. Lopez second, Dixon third. Canat will come across the line in fourth. Garcia fifth, Binder sixth. Chantra, Salak, Arenas, Lowe's complete the top 10. Gonzalez, Acosta, Vietti, Roberts, Agura, the final points paying position. It's Tony Arbolino who wins as we get Torres, Alcoba, Van der Goldberg, Boltus coming across the line. Tony Arbolino wins a shortened Moto2 race here in Argentina. Lopez is second and Dixon is third on the podium. So Tony Arbolino wins here at Argentina. Lopez second and Dixon rounds out the podium. Aaron Canet ahead of Sergio Garcia, Binder, Salak, Chantra and Arenas in ninth. Then we get Sam Lowe's rounding out the top 10, Gonzalez, Acosta, Vietti, Roberts and Agura, the final points paying position. Torres and Alcoba then follow. Swap then with Van der Golsberg, Boltus, Momento, Gomez, Ben Schneider, Dalla Porta, Ramirez, Foggia 25th. Then we get down and out for Skinner, Sanchez and Sean Dillon Kelly. In terms of the Riders' Championship, Tony Arbolino leads on 41 points, Aaron Canet on 33, Pedro Acosta, Dixon, Salak, Lopez, Gonzalez, Lowe's and Chantra the 9, but still 15 points each for Lowe's and Chantra. The championship is still very close. Round 3 then of the season will be at the Americas Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas as well. It's going to be another fascinating wait then in these amazing championships to see who will come out on top. We'll see you next time from us all here. Bye for now.